It's the end of a holiday weekend, but news waits for no one. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of the Good Times Newsline Flashcast. Yeah, that's right. It is a Flashcast of holiday proportions. Happy Memorial Day for everyone that is celebrating Memorial Day here in the States. We have some states-related news today, some United States-related news, so we're going to get to that in just a second. But in case not, hope you guys are having a blast, doing whatever you're doing on the, a long weekend or just a happy Monday night, right? All right, cool. So what do we got today? We got some Evercade news updates. But do I mean Funstock news updates? I think so. It's both. I mean, it's pretty much both. Because the Evercade answer is going to be this, I think, globally. Because the way I see it is, if Funstock is taking a stance on their orders, and primarily they do business in the Evercade ecosphere, then we're going to get the same answer clarified from Blaze about overall U.S. orders. So what am I talking about? We're talking about U.S. customers finally getting their answer on what happens with shipping. Is there going to be a pause still? Is there going to be more things? Whatever. So gracing the inbox of my my email account earlier on this afternoon. I didn't get to see it until I went down to check some stuff, and actually was checking out some other things online or whatever. I've got to reach out to some people and say, hey, how's it going? Because a whole bunch of people were reaching out to me today. So I will get to them as soon as I can. But I did see this email. So let's go put that on the screen here. It says, Funstock, notice for pre-existing pre-orders, an update on U.S. tariff and import duties. We are writing to update you about your existing order with Funstock. Now, this is, it's got to be, because it's the only open pre-order I have with them, related to the pre-order of my Super Pocket, the Neo-Geo Super Pocket, and the Windjammers and Gremlin 2 combo bundle with the little mug guy, because I did get the bundle. So that's the order I think that they are referring to. I'm going to assume that that's the case because that's the only open pre-order I have on Funstock. Due to recent changes in U.S. customs and tariff duties, we are now able to advise on shipping and potential charges on your pre-order. This is the important part, guys. For all orders shipped to the United States, there will be a local duty charge that will be required from your local postal service before the package can be delivered. Okay, so I immediately had a question because it goes on further. I read this email previously. It goes on further to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. But I did actually email Funstock support to get a question. So there will be a follow-up video as soon as I get the answer from them. Hopefully tomorrow morning. They say it could be 24 to 48 hours. I mean, I don't know. It could be a couple days. Who knows? They're really busy too because, on the other flip side, on Blaze's side, of course, they got to get ready for Thursday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I did email them questions specifically about this email, so stay tuned. So the charges. The charges are as follows. There will be a fee of 10% of the value of the goods on most orders. So I don't know what most means. I'm assuming they're talking about, hey, it might be a little more if it's hardware and carts. This might be their way of hedging their bets, that kind of thing. But they did say it was a blanket fee of 10% of the value of goods for most orders. I did some math, and guess what, guys? 10% is exactly the difference of the current tariff situation from where it was previously before all the crazy nonsense. All right, so it was basically blanket 20% on just about everything in and out, both ways, at all times before all the craziness. And then the craziness happened and went into, I don't even remember where it was. It was changing every 5 seconds. But it settled on 30% in to the US from UK and 10% out of the US to UK. So that's kind of where it is right now. That's where the standard is as far as the trade stuff goes, the business end of things. So that 10% difference was exactly what I was thinking was going to get applied to these orders because, I mean, again, retailers aren't going to just absorb the cost of these things. They're going to pass it off to the consumer. I just wanted the choice as to whether or not I can do this or not. Now, again, this is related to just these orders that are coming through now. But again, there's more. As per our shipping terms and conditions, all duties, taxes, and custom fees are the responsibility of the customer, because again, they're passing that off, and has been their policy. They haven't changed that policy. That has been the policy. These charges are not included in your order total. It must be paid separately to the postal service upon or before delivery. Okay, so that actually answered one of my questions. In rereading this, it answered my question. I was like, so who gets the money? Do I have to pay the postal carrier first, or do I pay Funstock? And it looks like I pay directly to the postal service, which makes things a little complicated for me and possibly others, especially if you live in a big metropolitan area. You can't get to where your local United States Postal Service office is if you're doing that through Funstock and you're waiting for your order. I think that's where you're going to have to go, because Royal Mail passes through USPS. I'm almost certain, because they don't pass through UPS or FedEx or any of those guys. So I'm almost positive it's USPS. And once it comes through customs, it goes to USPS, and that's who you're going to go to. You're going to have to go to your local post office and then deal with this duty. So I think that means that you're going to hold on to the package in order for you to get the item. And then they'll hold it for, I don't know, I think a standard is, 7 to 10 days. And then they just go return to sender. But there's more on that in this email. So let's get back to it. So the next steps, if you're happy, then we will continue your order, and you'll receive a notification email of any changes due once the items have been shipped from your local your local U.S. Postal Service. I guess it means shipped to. So Funstock knows when they put it on the plane or whatever it's going, the Royal Mail going out. So they're going to notify you like, hey, look, we sent it. And then once it hits customs, they're going to get a notification as well. You will get a notification that it hit customs, because I use my shop tracker app, and it gives me those notifications when I get my orders from Funstock or basically anywhere else now. And then that's when the duty's going to be as soon as it gets to the local entity. So it's going to go through customs. It's going to get through all the subsidiaries, and then when it gets to the delivery people, that's when they want your money. So I think I'm going to have to go to, my local is not my town. It's actually 2 towns over. So I'm going to have to go to that office in 2 towns over, pay them, and then they're going to hand me the package, because they're going to hold it until I pay them. So it's going to be one of those situations. If you do not wish to proceed with your order, please contact us as soon as possible for any cancellation or refund requests. Now, here's a huge date for people that are still listening here. And I hope you guys are listening, because this is maybe even breaking news. This will need to be done before the item shipped. So please contact us by June 10th for any order changes. So that means after June 10th, so June 11th, they're shipping these products on June 11th. And that means they're shipping my order, which is, once again, the neo-geo Super Pocket, the Windjammers cart, the Gremlin 2 cart, and the little mug, all in a box to me on June 10th or June 11th, I guess, because they're waiting until the end of day, June 10th. Hey, no one else has done any email, whatever. Okay, fine, let's put it in a box and ship. So what date is June 11th? It's a Wednesday, which actually coincides with when they normally ship things, because I usually get my notifications about midweek. Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. Maybe sometimes I get it on a Friday. And then that following week, the 16, 17, 18, that's usually when, because it goes right over. I'm on the East Coast, so customs, boom, boom, They get it done pretty quick. So by the 18th, I should be getting that notification that, hey, USPS has it. I got to go pay them whatever the duty is for that. This time, because it involves hardware and it went over a little bit, I'm going to be looking at around $12, $13, $15 or something like that. 15 max, I think. Okay. So we'll see what we feel about that in a second. But so anyway, so June 11th, everyone should be getting super notifications, no matter what order you have, for all of those items, because they didn't come out with a delay. Now, tomorrow they could be like, hey, Hyper Megatech, sorry guys, you might not be getting your Hyper Megatech product for a little bit. But yeah, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. They gotta ship something, they gotta say something soon, and now there's a date behind it. So now we know we should be looking for shipping notifications on Evercade product by June 11th. All right, cool. So that's kind of fun. I like that. That's why I read these emails. Well, specifically why I'm reading this one. If any orders are sent and returned due to non-payment of the customs charge, then an admin fee will be applied to your order and deducted from your refund. That's another important thing to consider, guys. So if you're still floating in the wind as to whether or not you want to pay the duty or not, decide before June 10. Because if you don't, and they ship it to you, and then you decide, oh, well, you know what, I'm going to refuse delivery. When it gets back to Funstock, they're going to take it from your refund. They're going to take a return fee. Because remember, they're going to have to pay. Well, they'll have to pay less coming back on the duty, but that doesn't matter. They're just going to give you an administrative fee, which is probably going to be, the 10% for your delivery plus a restocking fee or something like that. Because, hey, we warned you and you didn't do anything, blah, 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 that fee. And then it says questions. If you have any questions, please contact support@funstock.co.uk. Thank you for understanding and continue to support. Warm regards, the Funstock team. Okay, cool. So, like I said, I sent them a question, and the question was related to who do I pay? I think I misread the email, so it answered my question. So I'll probably get some kind of not spam, but auto reply saying, hey, did you read the email? It says, do the thing that we told you to and go to the USPS office and pay them. So that's probably what we're going to have to do. So how do I feel about this? One, I 100% absolutely applaud them taking the initiative to give the consumer the choice as to whether or not they want to continue with an order or have it canceled, because the consumer should always have the choice between whether or not they want to continue with an order with somebody or cancel an order, depending upon the things that are out of the control, let's say, of the vendor. Okay, so we're not blaming Funstock for the world going crazy and like tariff things going all over the place and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter to them what's happening. This is just business. And, they can't just eat that cost for thousands of orders going to the U.S., nor were they aware of anything before they had all these plans, nor took pre-order money. So all this happened after the last showcase. So I get it, and I understand. And for that, I personally am willing to gladly pay whatever the tariff fee, whatever it is, duty, no big deal. And at 10%, I'm not losing sleep over it. Now I hope that this is the final answer, right? The U.S. customers getting their final answer. And the final answer is that this is now going to be the status quo moving forward. All right. So that's what I hope. So we were rumored that we were going to get an answer for orders. And I'm hoping that this is the response, that from now on, there's going to be a 10% fee applied to all orders from now. So they're going to allow people to pre-order whatever comes out of this new showcase. And based on those pre-order numbers, the duty is going to be whatever the duty is going to be. This does allow Funstock, for those that are wondering, to raise and lower whatever this fee is, right? So say the tariff situation works itself out and everything goes back to where it was or better, then they can remove the 10% fee and U.S. customers can just buy as normal, and it'll be fine, and everything will be fine. Or conversely, things get worse. They still give you the choice. Well, now it's 25% instead of 10%. Do you still want to buy it or not? And then U.S. customers can decide, yes, I'm going to pay the additional duty, or no, I'm not. And that's fine. That's okay. But under no circumstances would I want, as far as a consumer, I don't want the answer to be, we're just not going to ship to the U.S. because we just don't want to. We can't deal with it. It's too much. It's whatever. That I don't want, because you're removing the choice from the consumer at that point. It's just like, all right, well, how badly do you want the product? I'm an all-in guy. Like, you guys already know. Like, there's people watching this channel for years. I have every single one of the things that says Evercade on it since the very beginning, except for the black pre-order console. I have all of it. I will continue to get all of it, with the exception of the alpha as well, because the alpha is just different case scenario. Yes, commenters. Yes, I get it. But great. This is the answer. Now, I hope, like I said, that in the showcase, that they don't have anything new or whatever, nor do I want them to say, hey, we're doing this for this order here, but now we're not going to take any more. We're going to continue not to take pre-orders. In fact, actually, while I'm here, let's go, because why not, right? Let's go, because maybe they update the FAQ on Funstock. No. So they haven't they haven't edited the website yet. So they sent the email out with this things about this current order, but the website still, all right, well, we could just do this too. So the shipping policy on Funstock, this is the current, like, refreshed. Let me hit the refresh button here. This is the current one. U.S. customers. Yeah, this is the website, right? Yes. Yeah. So yeah, there is no change between this thing. So it still says that we're going to continue to do the pause. That's that was from April 28th. Well, that was a weird highlight. And then existing pre-orders, we're exploring all options for what to ascertain for existing people with pre-orders, and we're going to update with changes by June 17th. That's way earlier. They got it in. It's the 26th, so they already know. So this paragraph should be changed because we already know what's going on with existing pre-orders. But the new order thing, I hope, will be also updated shortly to, hey, we're just going to assess the duty, and the current duty is 10%. So for all U.S. customers, you don't want to do that, then that's fine. Don't order. But if you order, just be expecting that we're going to pass whatever the duty is, be it 10%. If it raises to 20, if it raises to 30, it doesn't matter. Whatever it raises to, you're going to be due that from the USPS when our product hits that shelf, and order at your own risk. Which I mean, again, I hope that's what the case is, but we'll see. We'll find out. I will continue to be on top of this and look at my email and look for official notifications. I'm not going to get into rumors and speculation. There's a couple things that are floating around online and that kind of thing. It doesn't help anyone, because unless it's coming from Funstock directly or Blaze directly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what speculation could be. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter anything. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is when you go to put, credit card in slot and go to do your order, are you going to get told no or yes? That's all that matters. So I'll keep my eye on the Funstock stuff and keep you guys all up to date with all the official stuff that's coming directly from Funstock or Blaze, and then we can talk about that further. But until then, that's pretty much it. That's what I got for you right now. As far as all that stuff goes, again, it's good. I mean, I think it's a good move. I think it's positive. And I'm way more excited now for the new showcase. than I was before. I was still excited, but I'm tepidly like nervous because I don't want Thursday to come and be like, we're gonna announce all this awesome stuff and Rich is wrong about everything. and then on top of it all, Rich and every US customer can't pre-order anything. Isn't it great? No, that's not great. That's a no. So let's hope that this story is the thing that moves it forward. And we all have to know that as US customers, until whatever happens, we're going to put in our orders. We're going to pay a little extra. And it is what it is. So again, thanks all for checking us out. And bearing with me on the little ramble, the late night ramblings. But we are at the end of a video here on Bacon Ice Cream Productions, and we got to do one thing only, and that is thank every single member of, you guessed it, the Good Times Club. So let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Phantom Fiction, Lloyd R. Jam, Papa Pete, the Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, Mr. Shua, John Willig, Gunz20, Herb Wars, DF, Joe Whitlash, David Valdez, Dan Nasdick, Dr. Mark Mad Scientist, Alex Groot, Immortal Sojourn, and the Atari Creep. Yes, I still have yet to do the thing. I will do that as soon as I can to get you in there. But thanks, everyone, for being members. Of course, if you guys want to be members, you can hit the join button and just join on in because it's fun. And it's cool. You get some cool exclusive videos. I was actually showing people why I wasn't totally active on the channel doing video game stuff because I did like real life stuff. Got a new grill for the backyard. Did a little build on it, so I did a couple shorts for everybody at the GTC. In case you want to see part of my backyard and my driveway and all those like cardboard flying all over the place. But anyway, but we do videos like that. We do, of course, the Good Times Club meeting where we talk about the goings on of the channel, and then of course some other exclusive videos for like stuff like that I'm working on and fun stuff. So if you want that, that's great. If not, leave likes, leave dislikes, leave comments for sure, and hit the red button. You can do that. That's free. You can hit the red button, and then my face will continue to bring news and retro stuff to your face, and that'd be great. You get the bell for notifications so that when this face does those things, you will know. That's even cool too, and free. So you should hit those buttons too. And with all that being said, we will catch you next time for some good times and some hopefully good news. I'm Rich, and we'll see you later. Take it easy, guys. RTSC.baconicecream.com